Have you ever stepped into a building and felt an emotion you couldn't quite explain? Maybe it was a sense of awe, serenity, discomfort, or even energy. You may not have realized it, but that feeling was deliberately designed. Welcome to ArchiMind, where architecture meets emotion, powered by AI and curiosity. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of architectural psychology, the hidden science and art behind why buildings make us feel things. Architects are not just designers of spaces, they are sculptors of human experience. Every material, line, light source, and proportion is a decision that influences behavior, mood, and perception. And with modern tools, including AI, we're beginning to map these emotional responses more precisely than ever before. In this video, we'll explore the psychological principles behind spatial design, from colors and materials to layout and symbolism. We'll show how history, culture, and neuroscience blend into the architecture around us, and why the most successful buildings are those that speak to our subconscious. We'll also dive into real-world examples, cutting-edge research, and emerging technologies that blend design with psychology. By the end, you'll never look at a building the same way again. Let's get into it. The first thing we perceive in architecture is spatial quality. How big is this space? How open? How enclosed? Space and scale affect us biologically. Wide open spaces create a sense of freedom and possibility. Think of Gothic cathedrals, airport terminals, or domed government buildings. These are designed to make us feel small in the presence of something bigger, a technique known as psychological scaling. It taps into our primal responses to safety and hierarchy. On the flip side, smaller, more intimate spaces can produce a sense of security and coziness, what psychologists call the prospect refuge theory. It suggests that we seek environments where we can see out, prospect, but feel protected, refuge. This is why booths in cafes feel comfortable, or why we love reading nooks. Architects use scale deliberately. A tall ceiling can inspire, while a low one can create intimacy or tension. Residential homes often feature a mix, high ceilings in communal areas and lower ones in private rooms. Designers today leverage AI tools and spatial analysis to map user behavior in real time. Generative design software simulates how people move and react within different scales using biometric data, such as eye tracking, heart rate, and movement patterns. Public architecture often embraces grandeur, city halls, museums, places of worship, to create psychological distance. Meanwhile, therapeutic spaces like clinics or wellness centers use gentle scaling to put people at ease. Scale isn't just about size, it's about proportion, harmony, and how the space makes us feel within our bodies. And great design always accounts for that. Light is a primary influencer of emotion. Natural light tends to elevate mood, improve focus, and regulate our circadian rhythms. Designers often aim to bring in sunlight strategically, from skylights to clear-story windows. But shadows have their place too. Dramatic lighting creates mystery, intimacy, and mood. The play between light and shadow is a dance that influences how sacred or mundane a space feels. Museums often use dim lighting with spotlights to isolate artworks and create contemplation. Meanwhile, schools and homes rely on diffused, bright lighting to maintain alertness and comfort. In spiritual architecture, like churches, synagogues, or mosques, light is often used symbolically. The beam of sunlight through a stained glass window isn't just pretty. It's a moment of transcendence. Shadows emphasize solemnity, reflection, and reverence. Modern tools allow architects to simulate lighting conditions over time. AI-based rendering engines can visualize how a space will look and feel at different times of day or seasons, helping to craft desired emotional tones. Light can even influence time perception. Bright, open lobbies might make waiting feel shorter, while dim corridors can slow us down and provoke mindfulness. Color theory isn't just for artists, it's foundational to architectural design psychology. Warm colors, reds, oranges, yellows, tend to excite, energize, or stimulate appetite. That's why restaurants often use them. Cool colors, blues, greens, calm us down, popular in hospitals and spas. Neutral colors, grays, beiges, whites, provide clarity or minimalism, but can also feel sterile if overused. Accent colors draw attention and direct movement, often used in retail and branding. Material textures also carry emotional weight. Rough textures like stone or brick feel grounded and traditional. Smooth, reflective materials like glass or metal feel futuristic, clean, but sometimes cold. Wood introduces warmth, nature, and softness. Think of the contrast between a rustic cabin and a modern glass office. Each tells a different psychological story. Cultural context matters too. White may symbolize purity in the West, but mourning in parts of Asia. Blue may calm Western audiences, but in some regions, it can signal sadness. A successful design considers these cultural responses. Biophilic design, integrating natural elements, uses earthy materials like bamboo, cork, or reclaimed wood to promote wellness. AI-assisted systems can now suggest materials and color palettes based on emotional data or environmental psychology research. Some designers even use responsive materials, fabrics or panels that change color with temperature or lighting, to keep users visually engaged. The way a space is arranged impacts how we move and how we feel while doing it. Clear, intuitive layouts foster calm and confidence. Confusing or cluttered layouts cause stress. Hospitals, airports, and malls often use spatial logic and wayfinding strategies like color-coded zones, linear paths, and visual anchors to help guide us intuitively. Architects call this legibility, the ease with which one can understand and navigate space. Residential layouts often use zoning. Active spaces like kitchens and living rooms are grouped, while private spaces like bedrooms are tucked away. This reflects our social and psychological needs. Open floor plans may feel liberating, but they can also create distraction or lack of privacy. Segmentation, creating areas for focus, rest, or activity, mirrors how our brains manage task switching. Workspaces now use data-driven layout planning. Heat maps, occupancy sensors, and even AI simulations predict how employees interact. The goal? Boost productivity without sacrificing well-being. Good layout also anticipates emotional flow. An inspiring entryway, a calming corridor, a dramatic reveal. These aren't accidents. They're scripted moments in spatial storytelling. Architecture carries meaning beyond form. Certain shapes, motifs, or layouts evoke collective memory or symbolism. A triangular roof may suggest a home. A columned portico hints at power or tradition. Memorials are potent examples. The Vietnam veterans' memorial's descending wall creates a journey from life to death and back to reflection. Its emotional power lies in symbolic spatial sequencing. Civic spaces often rely on symbolic geometry. Circles can imply unity and equality. Squares suggest order. Spirals signify growth or eternity. These are ancient design languages embedded in our cultural DNA. Even repetition can carry meaning. A long colonnade may suggest permanence and tradition. Fragmented forms may evoke chaos or modernity. AI tools can now analyze public sentiment and memory association with forms and generate responsive architecture tailored to emotional impact. In branding and civic design, this opens up new frontiers for buildings that truly resonate with communities. Architects today are even designing buildings that tell stories. Narrative architecture. From museums to retail stores, layout and form are used to guide emotional and intellectual journeys. Our built environment becomes a mirror of who we are, what we value, and what we remember. The fusion of neuroscience, biometrics, and AI is revolutionizing emotional architecture. Today, architects use tools that simulate emotional reactions based on facial expressions, brainwave patterns, or heart rate to test different designs. Imagine a school that senses when students are stressed and adjusts lighting and acoustics accordingly. Or an office layout that evolves based on team interaction data. This is emotional architecture shaped by artificial intelligence. Generative design uses constraints, such as maximizing natural light or minimizing noise, and creates thousands of options. Designers then evaluate these based on emotional resonance, often using VR walkthroughs to gather user feedback. Tools like Midjourney and DALL-E are helping conceptualize emotional space visually, blending aesthetics and data-driven empathy. Some firms even use EEG headsets to monitor brain activity as users move through a VR model. We are entering an era where architecture doesn't just shelter us, it responds to us. And that changes everything. Architecture is more than shelter. It's a silent language that speaks directly to our emotions. Every curve, corner, and color is a decision rooted in human psychology, and now, increasingly, in data and AI. Whether you're designing a skyscraper or rearranging your living room, the principles of architectural psychology apply. They shape how we move, feel, and remember. As designers and citizens, becoming aware of these design choices empowers us to build more empathetic, inclusive, and emotionally resonant spaces. Here on ArchiMind, we're passionate about revealing these hidden layers. If this video inspired you to see buildings differently, or gave you ideas for your own designs, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves architecture or psychology. Comment below what building made you feel something unforgettable. And stay tuned for the next episode, where we reimagine iconic landmarks through the lens of AI. Thanks you for watching, and subscribe to ArchiMind for more videos. Also, let me know what type of videos you guys would like me to post. I'd be happy to take suggestions. And I'll shout out the people with the best ideas in my next video. See you next time.